Title: Echoes in the Rain. The rain fell like a relentless drumbeat, pounding against the earth with a ferocity that seemed almost otherworldly. Under the canopy of an old oak tree, its branches swaying ominously in the wind, two figures stood, shrouded in the darkness of the stormy night. Mark and Sarah had sought shelter from the downpour, but little did they know, they had stumbled upon something far more sinister than they could have imagined. Mark, a rugged man in his late 30s, peered out into the darkness, his senses heightened by the eerie atmosphere surrounding them. Sarah, a young woman with haunted eyes, clutched her jacket tightly around her, shivering from a combination of cold and fear. "This storm came out of nowhere," Sarah remarked, her voice barely audible over the howling wind. Mark nodded grimly, his gaze scanning the dense forest that surrounded them. "It's like nature itself is warning us to stay away." Sarah's eyes flickered with unease. "Do you believe in all those old legends about these woods? They say that it's haunted, that the spirits of the past still roam here." Mark chuckled nervously, trying to brush off the sense of dread creeping into his mind. "Superstitions and ghost stories, Sarah, that's all they are." But deep down, he couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, as if unseen eyes were following their every move. The rain continued to cascade down, masking any sound beyond the reach of their shelter. As they huddled closer together, seeking solace in each other's presence, a sudden noise shattered the eerie silence. It was a sound like no other, a haunting melody that seemed to emanate from the very heart of the forest. Sarah's eyes widened in terror. What is that?" Mark strained to listen, his heart pounding in his chest. The melody grew louder, echoing through the trees like a mournful lament. "It's just the wind," Mark insisted, though doubt gnawed at the edges of his mind. But Sarah knew better. There was something distinctly human about the sound, something that sent shivers down her spine. "We should go," she whispered, her voice trembling with fear. Mark hesitated, torn between curiosity and self-preservation. But as the melody intensified, weaving its sinister spell around them, he knew they had to leave. Together, they ventured out into the storm, their footsteps muffled by the relentless rain. The forest seemed to close in around them, the darkness swallowing them whole. They walked for what felt like hours, the rain lashing against their skin, the howling wind drowning out their thoughts. But no matter how far they traveled, the melody pursued them, a relentless specter haunting their every step. As they pressed on, their surroundings grew increasingly unfamiliar, the trees twisting and contorting in grotesque shapes that seemed to mock their very existence. Panic seized hold of Sarah's heart, her breath coming in ragged gasps. "We're lost, Mark," she cried, her voice barely audible over the storm. "We'll never find our way out of here." But Mark refused to give in to despair. Clutching Sarah's hand tightly in his own, he forged ahead, his determination unyielding in the face of adversity. And then, just when they thought they could go no further, they stumbled upon a clearing, bathed in an ethereal light that seemed to emanate from the very heavens above. In the center of the clearing stood an ancient oak tree, its gnarled branches reaching up towards the storm-ridden sky. And there, beneath its twisted canopy, stood a figure cloaked in shadow, its eyes burning like coals in the darkness. Mark and Sarah froze in terror, their hearts pounding in their chests. The figure beckoned to them, its voice a whisper on the wind. "Come closer," it murmured, its words a chilling echo in the night. But instinct screamed at them to flee, to escape the clutches of whatever malevolent force lurked within the shadows. With a trembling hand, Mark reached for Sarah, his gaze never leaving the figure before them. "We have to go," he whispered, his voice barely audible over the roar of the storm. Together, they turned and ran, their footsteps echoing through the darkness as they fled into the unknown. But no matter how fast they ran, the melody followed them, its haunting refrain a constant reminder of the darkness that lurked within the depths of the forest. And as they disappeared into the night, their fate remained uncertain, lost amidst the echoes in the rain.